I work in the European Commission in DG for Agriculture and Rural Development. And today in my presentation, I would like to introduce you the new legislative framework for the European system of geographical indications. In the European Union, we have a sound and well-functioning system of geographical indications. And during the 30 years of its existence, we have registered almost 3,600 of geographical indications. And another almost 2,000 of GIs are protected in the EU via the bilateral or multilateral agreements with the third countries. But in order to further strengthen the system of European GIs and to take into account the recent developments, in the past 2 years, the European Commission has been working on the reform of the legislation for geographical indications. The main objectives of this reform was first and foremost to further strengthen the legislative framework for geographical indications by enhancing the protection and the enforcement of geographical indications. And the second objective was to streamline and clarify the legal framework with the objective to further increase the uptake of geographical indication scheme in some European Union member countries and also in third countries. So the proposal of the European Commission has been adopted on 31st March of 2022, and then after the negotiations with the European Parliament and with the member states, the political agreement was reached at the end of October of last year. And the regulation on geographical indications was then published during this year. And the new rules have already entered into force and apply as of 13 May of this year. The regulation has brought several main achievements, which I will cover in the upcoming slides. So first, I would like to start with mentioning the scope of regulation. The new rules extend the scope of the regulation for geographical indications because the scope was extended to all agricultural products according to the WTO definition on agriculture. And therefore, the new legislation for geographical indications now covers wine, spirit drinks, and agricultural products that are listed under the combined nomenclature in chapters 1 to 23 of the Common Customs Tariffs. Then, another important element of the new legislation for geographical indications is harmonization of rules across 3 sectors for geographical indications. So there will be now harmonized procedure for registration and amendment procedure and cancellation procedure for geographical indications for wine, for spirited drinks, and for food and agricultural products. There will be also one set of protection rules for all sectors defined in one regulation. And we will also have one register encompassing all geographical indications registered in the European Union. This is the legal register e-Ambrosia. Then the new regulation also optimized the procedures because it introduced some mandatory deadlines for the European Commission with regards to the examination of applications for geographical indications. Currently, or before, in the old rules, there was only the deadline of 6 months for the European Commission to examine the application and provide first feedback to the applicant 6 months after receiving the application. This deadline stays also under the new regulation, but in addition, there is the new deadline of 5 months which applies for the second examination of geographical indication application. This means that when the Commission receives the application for geographical indication, it has 6 months to do the first examination and go back to the applicant. And in majority of cases, some more information or some revision of the application is necessary. So the Commission needs additional information from the applicant. And when the European Commission receives this additional information, it has then the deadline of 5 months to provide the second feedback to the applicant. So this is a novelty. And there is the objective to speed up the registration process, because before there was no deadline for this second evaluation of the GI application. Then the new legislative framework also optimized procedures with regards to the procedure for the opposition. For all 3 sectors, there will be now the unified period of 3 months for the opposition, since the application will be published in the official journal of the European Commission. And the novelty for the opposition procedure is notice of comments. This means that any natural or legal person...
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
The internet is not stable at the moment. We may have to, can you go back maybe like, we've lost you for like maybe 30 seconds. Maybe
okay.
Can you go back to like in the past 30 seconds, something like that.
Okay, so I think that I could repeat what I said about optimized procedures of the European Commission with regards to the opposition procedure. So there will be also the harmonization with regards to opposition procedure, because there will be the unified period of 3 months for opposition period in case of applications for geographical indications from all 3 sectors. So from the moment that the application for geographical indications will be published in the official journal of the European Commission, there will be 3 months to submit the opposition. The novelty that is also introduced by the new legislation is a so-called notice of comments, which presents the opportunity for any natural or legal person to submit to the European Commission during the 3 months opposition procedure a notice of comments, in which the natural or legal person can bring to the attention of the Commission any additional information or any kind of information that they think is relevant for this application. Here it is important to say that notice of comments does not trigger the opposition procedure, but it is, for example, the way how to bring to the Commission the attention that, for example, there might be a mistake in the application that was published. As I already mentioned in the beginning, the main objective of this reform of geographical indications was to further strengthen the protection of GIs. So under the new rules, there will be extended protection also to transliterations and transcriptions of names of geographical indications. And there will be also strengthened protection on the internet and with regard to domain names, and also with regards to the sales of geographical indications on online platforms, because this is the area that we see that in recent past there has been the increased number of infringements when it comes to the sales of geographical indications via the online platforms. And the domain name system is another specific area. And under the new rules, the geographical indications will be recognized as a right that can be invoked in the alternative dispute resolution procedures of country code top-level domain name registries that are established in the European Union. And the regulation also foresees the possible creation of the domain name information in our system. This means that when someone registered the domain name that uses or incorporates the name of geographical indication, the right holder of geographical indication will be informed if he decides to subscribe to this our system. Then the new rules also introduce the increased protection of geographical indication names in those situations when GI names are used in the names of processed products. This was also the area that has received an increased attention from some of the producer groups who have been dealing with such cases when the name of geographical indication is used in the name of the processed product, but it is often the situation when in reality the processed product either doesn't contain any percentage of geographical indication as an ingredient, or the percentage is very small, and basically in the end the processed product just profits from the reputation of geographical indication. So with the view to regulate such situation, the new regulation for geographical indications introduces the three conditions that the producers of processed products who wants to use the name of geographical indication in the name of this product must comply with. In practice, it means that the processed product cannot contain any other comparable product to the geographical indication that is in the list of ingredients. Then the geographical indication must be included, or must be contained in the processed product in a sufficient quantity to allow to confer essential characteristics on this final processed product. And then the percentage of geographical indication must be indicated on the label of this processed product in order to provide the transparent information. And another novelty that is also linked to this use of geographical indications in the names of processed product is the possibility for the recognized producer groups of geographical indications to be informed about such cases. So when the producer of prepacked food will want to use the name of geographical indication in the name of processed product, he will have the obligation to first notify the recognized producer group about such use, and the recognized producer group will have 4 months to provide the feedback to the producer of prepacked food for such use. The area of controls and enforcement of geographical indications was also further strengthened. There are several novelties that were introduced by the reform of geographical indications. Firstly, there will be common provisions on the controls of agricultural products and spirit drinks included in this new regulation for geographical indications, while the rules for the controls and enforcement of wine will stay in the separate regulation that is currently in place. It is the Common Market Organization regulation. And this is because of the specificities, for example, in the area of labeling that apply for the wine. Then there is also important novelty in the area of protection of geographical indications on online platforms. I already mentioned that in recent years we have seen the increased sales happening via online platforms, and this also applies naturally to geographical indications, but at the same time it also increases the rate of infringements of geographical indication names when it comes to online sales. So with the view to regulate this situation, the new rules on geographical indication includes the protection of geographical indications via online platforms. And there is a provision that ensures that any promotion, advertising, or sales of products via online platforms that would contravene the protection of geographical indications should be considered as an illegal content under the Digital Services Act, which is the regulation that was discussed in the earlier session of today's event. It is the new regulation of the European Union that regulates the activities of online platforms, and with our regulation of geographical indications, there is now the link to these new rules, which enables also to the competent authorities responsible for geographical indications controls to issue an order to act for the providers of intermediary services to act in cases of infringements of geographical indications. Then another important novelty that was brought by the legislative framework, by the new legislation for geographical indications, is attestation of compliance with the product specification, which currently exists only for spirit drinks, but with the new rules, there will be the possibility for all producers of all geographical indications to request from the competent control authorities the attestation of compliance with the product specification after the competent authority carried out the verification of compliance before the product is placed on the market. And this attestation of compliance can be provided either in the form of the certificate, or it can be provided in the form of a listing on the website of the control competent authority, from which the producers of GIs will have the possibility to download such certificate. And these new rules are in place with the view to facilitate the recognition of geographical indications that are genuine and authentic on the market, and they can be, for example, requested by the enforcement authorities in case of imports of geographical indications, or they can be also requested and used by retail sector to further promote and show that the product that is sold is the genuine geographical indication product. These rules will be applicable only as of 1st of January 2025, because it's the new obligation for member states to put in place this system. So they will have the transitional period to prepare for application of these new rules. Then I also partially mentioned already the recognized producer groups, which is another novelty brought by the new legislation for geographical indications. The new legislation had as one of the objectives the further strengthening of the role of producer groups in the life of geographical indications, because we often see that there is a situation that the producer group just registers the geographical indication, but then during the further lifetime of geographical indication, the producer group is basically inactive. So the new legislation further clarifies the tasks that the producer groups can carry out with regards to geographical indication, such as, for example, dissemination of information or promotion activities, or the measures to enhance the value of products or to carry out advertising campaigns. But in order to further strengthen the role of producer groups in the supply chain, the new regulation creates or establishes the system of recognized producer groups, which already exists in several EU member states. And in these cases, we can see that it is beneficial for the situations when there are cases of infringements with relation to geographical indications, because in case there is a recognized producer group which groups the majority of producers and represents the majority of producers, these recognized producer groups are basically better equipped to take the actions in case of infringements of geographical indications. So the new rules for geographical indications introduces the system of recognized producer groups on a voluntary basis, which means that if the member states decide to adopt such a system on a national level, they can do so, and they can they should apply the criteria that are based in the legislation, but these criteria are quite flexible in order to allow the existence of the recognized producer groups in those member states where they exist. And in addition, the member state can decide to apply additional rules for the recognizing process of producer groups. And what does it mean in practice? That these recognized producer groups will have the strengthened powers compared to just ordinary producer groups. They will, for example, have the possibility to receive a notification from a prepacked food producer that I already explained. They will also have the possibility to request binding rules for the regulation of supply of geographical indications up to 6 years. And they will be the only ones to be able to apply for amendment of the geographical indication, for cancellation of geographical indications, or for introduction of sustainable practices. But this will be only in case when there is the recognized producer group for a geographical indication. And there are also new rules with regards to labeling of geographical indication products in order to increase the transparency and to give the visibility to the producers of geographical indications. There will be the obligation for food and spirit drink producers of geographical indications to indicate on the labeling of the GI the name of the producer or the operator in the same field of vision as the name of geographical indication. For this new obligation, there will be also the transitional period of 2 years to allow the producers to prepare for application of these new rules, and also to enable them to exhaust the current stocks of the packaging that they may have. And then there will be another rules with relation to labeling of geographical indications. Under the old rules, the EU logo was mandatory only for the food products. This rule remains in place, so it will continue to exist. The spirit drinks geographical indication producers and the producers of wine geographical indications will have the possibility to use the EU logo for geographical indications, but they are not obliged to. But the novelty for the producers of wine geographical indications is the possibility to use the abbreviation PGI or PDO, which was not possible before. And there are also the rules which allow the use of indications and abbreviations in the labeling and advertising material of processed product when the geographical indication is used as an ingredient. And the last novelty I would like to mention is the sustainability. In recent years, we could see that there has been increasing demand for sustainable products on the EU market, but also on the global market, because many consumers would like to support the local producers and regional production. And this was also something that was clearly demanded by consumers when the reform for geographical indications legislative framework was being prepared. And therefore, the new legislation introduced also the rules on sustainability, but only on a voluntary basis. This means that if the producers of geographical indications decide to define the sustainable practices, they can do so. But if they decide to include these sustainable practices in the product specification of their GI product, then these practices automatically become mandatory for all producers of the geographical indication in question. And in order to further give the visibility to these sustainable practices that are applied in case of the geographical indication, producer groups or recognized producer groups will have the possibility to prepare a sustainability report summarizing the main elements of sustainable production. And this sustainability report will be published on the website of the European Commission in the GI View database. And what does it mean that the geographical indication would be produced in a sustainable way? Because of the wide range of geographical indications products that are protected, it is very difficult to define the one sustainable standard for all geographical indications. Therefore, the new regulation defines the sustainable practice as a practice that contributes to one or more social, environmental, or economic objectives of sustainability. For example, it can be the reduced use of pesticides in the production of geographical indication. It could be practices that support climate mitigation or animal welfare. The new regulation includes the list of such practices, but this list is non-exhaustive, meaning that it serves for inspiration for the producers, but of course it can also there can be also other sustainable practices that can be described by and applied by the producers of geographical indications. And here I would like to finish my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.